Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Terra Invicta as the Academy, episode number 5. Just survived the event and a little bit of cleanup after the event has been done, but here we are back again. Gonna make a couple changes. First of all, I don't really think we need to push mission to Mars. Our boost is a little bit low, and that's because I'm a little bit caught off guard by new information. So I guess that everybody within a union, a federation, will share its boost according to the GDP, kind of as a ratio of the GDP. So this boost, which is enormous for Kazakhstan, is all being squandered on whoever owns Russia. And guess who owns Russia? Well, Project Exodus, which besides stabbing us in the back, and I still don't understand why, the servants, which is not necessarily good either. So there's a couple of ways around this. Once we control the US, we can arrange for an alliance between Kazakhstan and the US, and then we can pull Kazakhstan out of the Union. You know, that's typically something that Russia might want to declare war over, but with the backing of the US, I would expect that they will be a little bit less enthusiastic about doing so. Now, granted, Russia has a lot of nukes, and we don't want it to come down to that, right? Because if the US and the Russians start trading nukes, that's going to be a bad day for, well, the whole planet. Nonetheless, Russia is a possibility. The fact we're going to be very over our control points limits, because even though we have some things cracked down, I mean, honestly, the crackdown in one of these places I thought had a crackdown. The crackdown in Germany might be a blessing. I'm trying to think. I thought there was one. Anything which is happening, a crackdown which is happening only on the executive, but none of the blocking control points, I feel like that's actually a good thing. We're essentially getting credit for the control point without paying the cost. Anyway, we already have everything set up, so I can just confirm and keep going, but I just wanted to take a look at my boost and try to get that up so that we can actually colonize something else on the moon. Because right now we are the only people, the only faction who's decided to lay claim to anywhere on the moon. And you know what? That's not that surprising. But if you know, given another chance, I would probably take the Shackleton crater, and then let the rest of it go. Worst comes to worst, we can always do that thing where we try to give the site away to somebody who will then just, at some unknown period in the future, stab us in the back. But probably like almost immediately, just stab us in the back. Okay, moving on. Did I do this yet? So reason. Okay, that's good. Close. Yeah, the reason why we're taking off mission to Mars is because I want a little bit more research going into this. We have to compete and defeat servants. And technically that also means a little bit more research into alien origins, and that's also a good thing. Alright, bunch of missions coming up. All public relations. Oh, okay. Information lab is done. Next up we could do... many things we could do. 3 points for this is just painful. Energy lab, space dock, supply depots. I think that's a lot of these things are a long way off. I guess military science and social science, these kind of things are less long term. We might actually have space stations doing science at some point.
Public sentiment is increasing.
Okay, Benelux has increased by 9%.
We hold no sway in their minds.
Ooh, wow, we failed a 90% roll. Germany.
We've moved the needle.
And most of our attempts were successful. Last thing we have is just to investigate some more aliens, get some more alien research bonus.
Recon complete.
Oh, okay, so we actually investigate alien abductions. The disappearances are worrying, not in their number. Humans kill each other in greater numbers on an hourly basis, but in what they imply. Abductions imply research, imply selection, but they are actions one performs upon lesser creatures. We capture a shark or a rare bird for study. We do not do the same to our neighbor. As yet, many people still hold out the hope of cooperation with aliens, including us as the Academy. But as the news spreads, their numbers plummet. Our list of allies may soon grow thin indeed. So you get a lot of these messages in the game telling you that, hey, Academy, by the way, you're probably not going to be very popular. So next up is alien methods. Its size is dispiriting. Okay. Perhaps both are correct. For now, let us hope that somewhere in this great list lie the answers we need. I guess we can actually just continue. Oh, there it is. Alien methods. So, perfect. I'll just switch over to alien methods. I think both can be done basically at the same time. And, actually this one will finish first, which I want it to finish first anyway. And are we catching up? We're at... Ooh. The servants are really going hard on rival domestic politics. I think I'm going to go ahead and one-up them, or attempt to at least. We should have the research to do so. Oh, yeah. By the way, does everyone hate us? Even after the event, everyone hates us. And by the way, I've mentioned it a few times how I find it weird that like the Resistance and Humanity dislike us. I can understand them disliking us. I just can't understand why they dislike us more than the frickin' aliens. Yes, indeed, Humanity First, whose goal is to eradicate the aliens and all who support them, are tolerant of the aliens but in conflict with the people who don't have a firm opinion on the matter. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I find that comical. But I didn't even go there and do what I wanted to do, which was look at resources. Research-wise, 20, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15. Yeah, so we're at 22. We have, I guess, a lot less research compared to other people as I thought we did. Servants, we should have enough that if we pour our resources in, we should be able to outdo them. So I hope that that is indeed the case. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, arrival markets. So this allows you to have a few more orgs which will appear. And speaking of orbs, I haven't looked at my orgs lately. Is there anything I could get? No. So, that it shows us that we would actually probably benefit from getting that. But we have two, I would say, higher priority research things to do first. Okay. So probably at some point I need to take more stuff from the US. So, Talitha, you are reasonably good at this. 2% chance, that is
I'm here.
less than stellar. Whereas, wow, you have more stuff to research. Okay, let's continue to research stuff. Investigate more aliens. Benelux is, well, it's not... Oh, wow, they already secured it. Well, that would have happened before any of my missions would have fired anyway. So that's... I'm not going to try to push that here. We'll just go ahead and do more public campaigning to secure everyone's support over there. Could I crack them down, though? I doubt it. Yeah. Servants are covering their own bums. It makes sense. We're pretty much the only person not covering our own because, well, it doesn't make any sense to. The only one that made sense for it was Canada. But all the rest of these places, they already have a crackdown. I guess we could defend ourselves in Ireland, but it does use a lot of research that I'd rather save for other things. So what are you going to end up doing? Well, it would take a critical success for this to happen, which is, not very likely. I guess it's a 2% chance. A 2% chance is a 2% chance. Instead, we're probably better off advising, which would give us at least 6 administration towards this. So I think I'll do that instead. You know what? It does take 10 influence to advise.
Where do you need me?
So what if I instead use those points? I get a 7% chance.
At your service.
Okay, we did fail at our attempt to publicly campaign in Germany. Even though it's a 90% chance. We'll try that again. And Ireland, oh yeah. Well, actually, we're starting to win back Ireland. I think I'd rather spend a little bit of money and get the US to like me a little bit more. Yeah, it's just sad to it. Well, we definitely lost a little bit of ground there. So I mentioned cutting away, and I'm still not sure when I'm going to do that. But eventually. Just, this is just kind of straightforward here. Just keep plucking. And And I guess the question is whether or not I'm going to try to take Russia. I could have looked at that. Okay. Benelux has actually gone up to
Prepping for next
41%.
mission.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
Germany. It's pretty bad in Germany, though. Surprised nobody's tried to get into
Public
Germany.
opinion is moving in our direction.
Hey, that's great. 5%? We'll take 5%. Oh. I like this one. Xenoflora defoliants. Oh, hooray! Hey, look at this! 200 science and 100 influence because the first lunar base has been founded. Which, by the way, is our... does take one of our mission control points. This time, we're here to stay. They do have good quotes about the Mars landing as well. I really like those. So, I don't know what we're going to be able to do. We've completed a HAB module, but... okay, but at some point we're going to need mining stations for this to be useful. And we don't have those yet. Not only that, but we don't have... we really don't have the... we don't have the means, I guess, of doing this. This is going to take 6.7 boost, which we only have 3.6 of. Okay, well, that's fine. Eventually we're going to win back Kazakhstan, one way or another. And then our boost is going to go up quite significantly. Right now it's basically Russia benefiting the most from it.
Here's what we've found.
Alright, well, how about this? I think I will cut away until something meaningful happens, and then I'll just see you back then. Okay, look at it. I'm not going to complain much about RNG, but but this is kind of funny. I have just failed, and I'm sure that I'm about to fail another. I have failed 3 rolls of 90%, and one of them was a critical failure. And Roach, get the bloody US. I just decided, you know what, let's just go for broke. Anyways, it didn't work. I'm sure it's not going to work, so that's that. But at least in the oh, okay, yeah. Well, very low success chance. I was hoping that with 3 successes, this would be like at least a 20% chance. I'll take a 1 in 5 chance. You know, that's fine. We'll just keep firing over multiple weeks. But boy, that was devastating. Anyway, other things that we did is I picked up a couple of orgs. We got this one for nope, not that one. Not one. That one. Got the Primula Fund for 3% welfare because it was cheap to acquire, and I did get the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs. So that one actually is pretty good. Not going to be very helpful from a spaceflight program standpoint, but we'll take the 3% funding and space science research, and ultimately space mining output bonus is going to be good. And even if we don't want to use this in any particular point in time, first of all, it gives us 8 research. That's always nice. But we can just shelve it in the unassigned orgs, and then, but we're not running out of space quite yet. In fact, there's other ones I could have done, and I chose not to because they're not that interesting. Okay, a couple of nice things to report. First of all, I did take 1 control point out of the US. I'm still going full in to try to get the other one, while, trying to maintain a little bit of less unrest in Kazakhstan. That just keeps going up. Anyway, we did finish the Alien Methods project. So this is talking about how we've seen the aliens doing their thing. By analyzing patterns of species, locations, the frequency, the subtlety, or lack thereof, the proximity to settlements of recent disappearances, we can now paint a clear picture of their methodology. The alien abductions follow a clear pattern. At first, animals were taken, dogs, pigs, goats. After 9 days, these abruptly ceased, and from then on, all disappearances were human. This gradually transitioned into a third wave of abductions, this time directed at important or influential targets, particularly in the media, political, and technical spheres. The most likely explanation for this pattern is that animal abductions were for broad-based biological study, the second wave was for narrow biological study, and the third represents an attempt, or the beginning of a larger-scale attempt, to gain influence. Let's see, there's no plausible friendly explanation for these actions. Discord is spreading. The most vociferously pro- and anti-alien elements within our ranks are engaging in angry arguments, even coming to blows. Both have demanded that we change our official policy to one more amenable to them. I have stated that we are still attempting to hold a middle ground position. I am sure this will satisfy neither. I fear our organization will shortly start losing members from both its wings. So again, you have this constant trickle of Academy bad. But that's okay, we're going to stay the course, obviously. We picked the faction, didn't we? I knew what I was getting myself into, I've read these before. Significant numbers of our members have broken away from our organization to join groups more oriented to serving or resisting the aliens. Despite my attempts to stabilize the situation, our ranks continue to thin. In the meantime, we have more bad news. Some of the abductees have returned. While this would otherwise be a positive development, early reports indicate that their behavior has drastically changed. This, combined with aliens' previous behavior, suggests many possibilities. Few, if any, are good. So now we can do this more surveillance stuff to get more information about the aliens, but you know, this is just bad. Bad. Our public opinion was higher, and now it just dropped. And drop everywhere. It's probably dropping everywhere. Oh wow, we're really squeezed out of Germany again. We actually started to do well in Germany. I'll have to go back and reinforce that a bit more. Otherwise, the other ones look okay. Kazakhstan looks good, actually. And more crash sites. One in... where is this? Russia, and then one in Brazil. And by the way, by the way, the servants, you know, who have control of Turkey, have joined their servant companions in Russia in war against Ukraine. So I don't know what that means, because the AI is not particularly good at capturing Ukraine, but we'll see. That might actually tip the tide. Alright, so we completed Alien Origin. There are multitude theories about where they come from. But I guess it's going to boil down to the fact that they FTL'd in. So we will see that here, I think. Did they arrive via faster-than-light travel? Did they cross the vast reaches of space via some slower, more patient method? The scientific implications are either are profound, but for now we unfortunately have more pressing matters. They have set up orbital habitations around various bodies in our solar system, which they are using as staging points. Okay, so anyway, there's that. We still have our work cut out for us. Oh wait, just wait until we get to the main... Oh wait, new technology, I guess, yeah. Yeah, we could do this. I mean, it will help in the super, super long term. It's not like a low-hanging fruit. It is, in fact, the most expensive research I could get. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll just work on something. And I don't really care about working on that one quickly. Oh, it doesn't really matter. And we are 44% way over on this. So that's good. I guess the servants at some point just stopped. In fact, we are a shoo-in, a complete lock with only just over 100 points available. Nobody can get this one except for us. So sometimes I like to just sit and force the AI to do the dirty work. They may not even ever do it. But that's okay. I mean, it's, you know, just... maybe it's better to force the AI to actually put their research in. Let's see if they're going to progress that one at all or not. In the meantime... I mean, technically I get less science for doing this, so... I think this is probably a good time for us to just beeline ours. And we don't really have any particularly deep desire to finish any of these. But we'll just essentially rob everyone else of points. Yeah, I guess we'll finish this very slowly. Okay. Is that it? I guess I cut away here again.
We found something.
Okay, we've unlocked Arrival Domestic Politics, which I don't think it does very much for us. Yeah, we can do Arrival Law, and it eventually unlocks Institutional Outreach and Strategic Lobbying. I don't even remember what those do, but they'll come up eventually. And now it's our turn to pick another tech. I think that at this point we will go with Advanced Chemical Rocketry. This is going to give us the boost in thing. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. Do this hard. I'm going very hard on mass drivers because I really, really want that ASAP. It'll help greatly with our moon. I mean, our moon base is useless until we have mass drivers. Like, what's the point? We can't toss the goods around, so what's the point in mining? advanced chemical rocketry will give us more boost, but another thing to mention, and I didn't know this before I started this series, so this is just something I only discovered recently. Right now, when Kazakhstan has a ton of boost, but although it has its massive 30 boost per year number, that right now is pretty much not going to us at all. You can see that our total boost is less than 30 a year. And that includes all of our countries put together. And the US has a significant amount of boost. I don't know what it is, but it's significant. The reason why we're not getting anything from Kazakhstan is because I guess the GDP, the boost is spread evenly among the GDP, not evenly, so it's spread by GDP in a federation, which means Russia's probably getting most of it, which means most of our boost is actually going to the darn servants. That's not great, but there is a way around this. We can leave Kazakhstan, we can leave the Union. And actually, I think one way to do that might be to coup. So I might actually just try to coup myself, and you know what? That might have the added benefit of getting rid of this crackdown state. One unwanted consequence of removing my own crackdowns is I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna gain, I guess, the control points. So there's no free lunch here. It's kind of nice to have the points cracked down because then we don't have to pay as much for them, but we still control them. But yeah, when we take them, especially if we want to do a coup in Kazakhstan, we have to. Then we're gonna have to figure out a new way to get our control points. And one of the things I'm considering right now, because basically every single mission assignment phase, Talitha's kind of useless to me. So I have been debating how to get rid of her. The problem is that because she's been around long enough, she has 757, which means 19 is very hard to throw away in terms of control point. And who else would we get for her? I've been looking. I mean, if we can get, I think, 14. But basically, the kind of people we need now are investigation and espionage, or alternatively, we need like high command people. So this kingpin, I guess this would give us a criminal as well. Do they have a good mission set? They have. I mean, this might be new. I don't know if I've ever seen this person before. Maybe I have. She's not great. Indulgent, affluent. I guess those offset because she's, even on money. Cynic is not great. Crew is where she's getting her one ops from. Yeah, I mean, she's not great as far as criminals go. That says something, doesn't it? But basically, I don't know. I mean, she would be only a 12 as far as points go, so we'd lose 7 control point capacity, which means we'd definitely be over our limit. Somebody like this would only give us 10, which would be even worse. They're eminent, so that has some benefits. Prosperous. Very poor mission set, but at least public campaigning. So basically, if you have nothing else, at least have public campaigning, so you can do something. I think these did get shuffled, so I'll probably cut away here. This one actually looks good. Control, crackdown, purge. There is no... Yikes, yeah. I mean, they're good from the perspective that they're probably better than Talitha, but they really aren't that much better. Talitha has pretty much the same mission set. Now, they are better at doing the things that we want people to do at this point, which is like investigation. I don't know. I'll look into this a little bit more and see if we want to make a swap. Perhaps I'll do it, and if I do, I don't mind doing it off camera. Okay, I think it's still interesting to continue to advance the story, because the Academy story, it is fascinating. It's got a little more, I don't want to say subtlety or nuance. I mean, I guess it's a little bit more of a roller coaster than, somebody like Humanity First, or even the Resistance is pretty straightforward. I mean, Servants are definitely straightforward too. But actually, they have some interesting turns as well. Anyway, we have completed the Investigate Returned Abductees objective, and I love the tone here. I would say that the writing in this game, I mean, there's obviously a lot of it, but it's pretty good. Our security forces have been particularly hard hit by our drop in support. I love that they keep acknowledging the Academy is, losing support. Soldiers are inclined to fight, not wait and see. Many have abandoned us for groups aiming to resist the aliens, if not destroy them utterly. Still, a few have stayed loyal, for which I am grateful. It was one of those teams that was able to solve this particular puzzle. A middle-ranking civil servant with no prior history of violence or political extremism, was discovered gathering information on the residences and personal security of his superiors. From context, the information was clearly for the purposes of kidnapping, if not outright assassination. 2 similar cases in the same country were also detected. The civil servant was a previous abduction victim, and to all appearances, he is now assisting his former captors. Why? And more importantly, if we were able to catch these 3, how many more are taking place without our knowledge? Our theories and debates have now seemed woefully outdated. The aliens are, in all likelihood, in the middle of advancing their influence and control over the Earth. So it is interesting, like how the Academy has to kind of dance around the issue that the aliens are so aggressively hostile towards us. I mean, hostile. Yeah, not violent, but hostile. Because they're doing theirs in a very sneaky way, right? Anyway, we can research alien operations, which we'll probably get very soon. But for now, just advance to the next period, and I thought that might unlock very quickly. Oh, okay. Well, this is the strategic lobbying. Influence cost of direct investment reduced. Okay, I haven't done a direct investment yet. We're not there yet as far as wealth goes, and once we have more nations on lockdown, I think we can have this feedback cycle where they give us resources and then we can give back to them to further boost them. Or you can use it on the United States. I don't know if you want to use that, but you can probably get a lot more effect out of a smaller nation. Well, this is kind of an interesting development. We are co-owners of Benelux, but the servants have been pushing mission control, and now they're actually pushing boost. So, I mean, they did spaceflight. Obviously, I haven't changed my priorities at all, and I probably should go back through and manipulate these a little bit. Maybe put a little bit more into the economy than knowledge. Wow, actually dominated. Wow, that's not good. How would that even be happening? I don't know, because knowledge is pretty high up on the priority list, and that's supposed to reset this value back down to 5. It says the resting value of this is 9 right now. My goodness. Well, we will continue to push on the knowledge thing, and hopefully that helps. Like, Unity is not being invested in at all, so I don't know where this is coming from. Anyway, then, kind of an interesting thing. Spaceflight's been done here. So we can now actually get boost here, but I mean, I presume that I'm going to keep Benelux for the rest of the game. Hopefully, knock on wood. So we will benefit from this. One thing we won't benefit from is the servants owning France. And I didn't really mention this, but my grand strategy is still I'm grabbing European holdings, even though they might be kind of difficult to hold, a little bit more expensive than like others for things we might want to. Like, you can have Germany or you can have Japan, right? Germany has 150 research, and Japan has 130. It's about 16.9 per point there. It's about the same, right? 6.2 here. So Germany does have more research per point than Japan. Yeah, so I guess Germany does look like a more appealing option, even though I think it has maybe slightly less investment, but I don't know. I mean, you can turn around Germany very nicely, and we should be able to do that. But is it worth... I mean, I would say the main reason why I'm trying to keep it around is so that I can one day form the European Union. I know, unfortunately, to do that, I will need to take back France. Luckily for us, France is... It's weird. The French... I mean, actually, out of all of them, the French military rating is important, so that's fine that they're investing so heavily on this. I don't like the fact that they're building an army, but, one day, hopefully, if we were able to take it over, that army becomes ours. So, anyway, okay, this is just some thoughts. We have a potential boost going on in the Netherlands. France has a better boostability, I would say. If I was the servants, I wouldn't prioritize boost in the Netherlands. I would do it in France, not only because we're in a union and all that is shared by GDP, and the Benelux GDP is half of that of France, and they have more points in France anyway. But yeah, I mean, doing boost in France makes sense because you get more out of it. I still don't know what this range is, but well, it's better here than it is in the Netherlands, I'm sure. 0.2 to 0.36. Okay, just kidding. Netherlands has better, 0.36, better max. But I thought that this, yeah, down here would have been all you need. And it's 18.4 for crying out loud. I don't know. Anyways, I'll cut back away. Oh, an event of minor importance. Not too major right now because we can't really do anything with it, but there isn't, there's one action that we really want to take immediately. So we will want to send a probe to Mars right away. We don't have the boost. I don't think we have the technology even unlocked for us to boost the probe speed. But, well, I don't think we have that, do we? Yeah, I guess we haven't gotten that one yet. And you can take a look at how we're doing on research lately. Oh my gosh, we are doing everything for advanced chemical rocketry. Rocketry. We're way ahead on mass drivers, and we're only putting one research point in these things. Solid core, and okay, so the mission to Mars is complete. And who was it? I don't know. Was it the Initiative? Whoever. Oh, it was Project Exodus, I think. And they chose to do solid core fission systems next, which does give us the fission pulse. No, that's not what I would be interested in. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is not something. We're not planning to build a ship or any space force quite yet. But there is one other thing to do, and that is to send a probe. So let's go over to Mars, send a probe. It's going to take almost a whole year for it to get there, but we don't have any reason to wait any longer. We'd like to get to Mars before other people. I think Mars is generally one of the best resource-rich locations in the system. There's going to be some other ones. If you're watching Perun's series, he's much better at knowing which ones are important to use than I am. But we do have, hey, look we're not alone anymore, but somebody took the one that we were really hoping to get besides the Perry crater, which was the Shackleton crater, and that's the Initiative. Even the servants have landed one, but I mean, I guess nobody has anything done yet. These are all just empty outpost cores. I'm just glad that, misery loves company, so I'm glad other people got suckered into doing this too. We're going to try to do the coups in Kazakhstan, and I'm interested to see. I know that this will take us out of the Eurasian Union, in which case we'll have to ally immediately with the United States. Okay, it looks like I already did that. But the next important thing to know is whether or not this crackdown goes away. And actually, I don't really care if it does. It might even be better if it doesn't, because of the control boat limit. But we'll see. Okay, well, we got it. Coup in Kazakhstan. Some unrest has abated. I actually don't know. I forgot to look at the unrest in this country beforehand. If I clicked on it in the last video, I haven't gone that far in time. Probably just see if, well, it's down to P. So if there was any unrest at all, it's definitely gone down. Anyway, yeah, we control it now. Point is still cracked down. We're just out of the Eurasian Union. But we don't really feel threatened about being attacked, because not only are we currently allies with Russia, but more importantly, we're allies with the US and their massive military, so we feel safe. Now, boost was, I think, 0.08 beforehand, or, it was just under 30 a year. And you can see it's climbed substantially up to 40. So there's basically a 50% increase in boost from doing this coup, which is fantastic. Yeah, you can see we got a very nice roll, 12%. So, hooray! I guess it's, actually, this is probably a good place for me to cut away. I've been doing these little clips. Got to the end of 2023. I'll probably make a little bit more progress off camera in the meantime. Is there anything that is upcoming that is really interesting to see? Arrival markets will give us 5 extra organizations. I put the defoliants on hold just until Alien Operations is finished. And yeah, we're leading the way on all of these. It's actually great to see Project Exodus pushing so hard on the solid core fission systems, because I feel like we're not even pushing that hard, and we're still Like, look at this. We're only using 1 bar of research on advanced chemical rocketry, and we're still doing over 2/3 of everyone's research, which is probably not a good sign. It means that other people are still doing research, but they're doing it on internal projects. So we're getting, even though, I mean, we're still doing 3 bars for both of our internal projects, so I feel like we're taking care of ourselves reasonably well. But that means that, obviously there's a lot of people, like the servants aren't contributing anything to any research projects, which means all of their research is going to internal, faction-specific projects. Same, it looks like, with the initiative. Although it's not true. So you can see the people, the good guys here. The Academy, we still count ourselves among the good guys, but Humanity First, Resistance, Project Exodus, these people are all interested in advancing the technology of humanity. Anyways, until the next video, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.